Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. I'm Tom Delicati here with Dr. Brady King.
I'm back.
John White. He is the most Blanco of all Juans I know. And it looks like he left us. Nope, he's here.
Nope.
There's Juan.
I'm here.
The most Blanco of all Juans.
Can you hear me?
You are Do you read me? Over.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had the Mexico Grand Prix. Is it the Mexico or Mexico City? Either one. We'll just run with it. That was this weekend, and we're here to talk about it because that's what we do after a race weekend. It might be the only time we talk, honestly, is after race weekends. We've been giving up on off weeks lately, and I don't think anybody's complaining about it. So we got to talk about that. The first 10 laps were pretty interesting. There were some incidents, some investigations, some penalties. We've got a tasty treat of a championship heating up for the drivers in the final four races. We might hand out a rookie duty tonight. I would imagine we will. But before we can do any of that, a tradition unlike any other, it's our 15-second race reviews. And these race reviews are in reverse championship order. We pick top five, bottom five, and pick a outlandish three-pointer every week. And the current standings are as follows. In first place with 132 points, John White.
Yeah,
Blanco
baby.
list of Blancos.
After hitting his three-pointer this weekend, that Ferrari will jump Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship, and by 1 point, Ferrari is ahead of Mercedes.
I've never been so excited and nervous at the end of a race before because I wanted Max to win, but I also wanted to get my three-pointer. So I was very torn.
Yeah, I get that. You wanted Max to pass Leclerc?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. He wasn't winning.
Well, you know,
That's winning according to John.
Mm-hmm.
No one was catching Lando, so it was fine.
So John's at 132. In second place with 126 points is the doctor, Brady King. By the skin of his teeth, because I am nipping at his heels with 125 points, but Ollie Behrman just couldn't get one more place on lap one, and I'd have been a lot closer because my three-pointer was at least one driver will gain 5 positions on lap one, and Ollie made a run for it. But too bad and so sad. Brady, your three-pointer was that Piastri or Norris will DNF, and that was a loss on yours.
Yeah, did not
Nope.
All of this to say that I get to go first with my 15-second race review. So let us start the clock. A Guinness World Record was achieved on Sunday when a combined 1 billion pesos were spent on lawnmowers at the Mexico Grand Prix. George Russell has a McLaren on his ass. Do you want him to let him pass? GP is still on a hot mic talking to the pit wall about a one-stop or a two. Sainz's car is still jumping in the pit lane. George Russell still has a car up his And hold on, guys. Keep talking. I just need to validate your kph to miles per hour math live on a global broadcast.
$1 billion in lawnmowers, huh?
1 billion pesos, actually.
Yeah.
Which
Stand
converts to how much in USD? About
It's like
$100.
$4.
Let's just,
Yeah.
It's like 350.
Okay, cool.
All right. Up next, Doctor.
Let's do it. Okay, top 5 driver roll call for this weekend. Max, I see you. Hamilton, yep, you're here. Leclerc, yep. Russell, I see you too. Behrman, are you sure? Piastri, Oscar, anybody? Current leader of the championship? Someone check in the bathroom. Oh, lap 60, there he is.
Oh,
Dude is trying to lose it.
he's struggling.
Yes.
As
It's a good way to put it.
Broadway Joe Namath would put it. Struggling.
Struggling.
All right, John. I am so tired of calling you last on these because it's like, all right, John, you're at the end here. Like, can you just lose some points so we can switch up the order here a little bit?
Give them
Well,
away
if
like
it's
charity.
anything like last year, I will lead for the majority of the season, and then it'll come down to like the last 3 races, and then you guys will kick my ass again.
I'm looking forward to it.
Not me.
All right, here you go.
First things first, La Mujer doing sign language for the national anthem was way into something written in 1854, but I don't speak sign language, so haters won't hate. Grass, grass, and more grass. It's like a Grateful Dead concert. Add that with the lines I thought I'd never hear, Piastri can't make a move on Sonoda, and you've got a full bingo card. It's only lap 15. George is a bitch, Max was robbed via VSC, and it's still the best race we've seen since summer break. Viva Mexico.
The sign language.
Did you not
The
notice
sign
her at the
language.
beginning? Like she
I
was,
did.
Man, good on
She was
her.
into it.
Yeah, she was.
It was a vibe. I will tell you, I am a little disappointed when they hit the intro for the broadcast. I was excited for the mariachi intro,
Oh yeah.
and they really downplayed it. They brought it when they were introducing the drivers for the, like when Crofty was going through the grid, but it was like kind of in the background. It wasn't in the forefront. It wasn't this celebration of culture. We talked about it last week, how that's like a big thing, and they didn't do it.
It was something I was looking forward to, and I was
It
let
was
down.
a letdown. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a letdown. 100%.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about this because, so for the listeners, I was traveling most of Sunday, coming back from winning my own championship in baseball.
Heyo.
Heyo. So I did not get to watch the race. I had to listen to it like it was radio, like a caveman.
Like it was
so getting them-
1932, and it was a hot lap coming out. Turned
No,
it.
but that's not. It would have been great if it was that. Instead, it was just
Lando
the
Norris is in the
broadcast
lead.
with
See?
It's like the bee's knees.
Now, see?
So I got the mariachi part, which was great. And then there was just all the context was lost. Also, not being able to really understand the radio messages because I can't understand them, and then not really seeing it. So I hear them blabbing away.
Did you have it in SAP? Is that why you couldn't understand it? It was in
Yeah.
Spanish?
Touche.
So, Brady, do you have a, like from your radio broadcast, do you have a condensed, like shortened race review for us?
I do. I made
Oh.
a second one. All right.
Let's hear it. Do you need the ticker? The ticker?
Sure. Throw it in there.
All right, ready?
All right, let's do it. The phrase "there's a snake in my boot" is made famous by Sheriff Woody in Toy Story, lesser known as the phrase "I have a car in my" from Sheriff George in the Mexico GP.
There's a car in my...
Just pull the string.
That does seem to be a favorite catchphrase of his, because it's
Yeah.
not the first time he's used it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's always very panicked when he says it. It's not calm at all.
No, he sounds like he's about to cry.
I get it. I mean, if I had something near that orifice, I would probably sound a little panicked.
Especially a lawnmower or
Or
an
a
F1
car,
car or whatever.
So no mariachi intro. We did get a little mariachi. It was just a letdown. It was a bummer.
Yep.
But you said it in your 15-second race review, John, that this was the most exciting race since the summer break. Hard to argue that. It was enthralling the entire time. Is that the right word? Can I use that word? Enthralling?
I don't know if
I think
enthralling
so.
is a word, but we can go with it.
I was enthralled.
I was
Yeah.
fully thralled.
Mm. Okay.
So, John, you texted me. I was on the plane. We were taxiing to take off, and I had to shut the race down at lap 6. And John, you were trying to call me while I was on there. You're like, I'm on lap 8, and everybody's driving on the grass. What's going on?
Tom and I both had to watch the race on delay. And
Yes.
so I got home and immediately turned it on. And normally I would skip through kind of the beginning stuff, but I'm like, no, it's the Mexico GP. Like
Yeah.
I want to see some interviews. I want to get the national anthem,
experience.
like the full experience. I had nothing but time at this point in the evening. And yeah, by lap 8, it was going nuts. And I didn't know if Tom had watched it yet or not, but I needed to talk to someone about what I was experiencing. And I was straight to voicemail, unfortunately.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I let you down. And then you texted me and said, you're dead to me.
I did say that, yes.
Took it from 0 to 100 real fast.
Yeah. Just call me George.
John's just hanging on by a thread over there.
Had nobody to share it with, damn it.
Right.
And so lap 1. Maybe let's start there. Lap 1. There was a lot going on all the way up and down the grid. The most obvious thing was 3 wide into turn 1. Max goes off onto the grass, rejoins the track. Did Leclerc go off at that same turn too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do they call it turn 2, turn 3, whatever?
Yeah,
He went off in the same sequence of events.
The group of turns, right?
I actually think there were 4 or 5 cars that cut across the grass on that.
Everybody was going in the grass. They just saw Max do it and they thought,
that's where the track goes.
Why not? Yeah. Okay.
Looks like fun.
So there were no real incidents, penalties, investigations that happened from that sequence of events. Did you feel like there should have been?
Going back and watching the replay, since I couldn't see it live, I don't think so. I don't think that he has much of a case for... Well, he has some amount of case for saying that he was alongside. His only real argument was, I got squeezed off the track. The problem is, you're 3 wide into that turn. So it's not like a racing incident where you can just blame the guy to your right, because there's multiple cars there. So he doesn't really get the chance to be like...
So you're speaking from Max's perspective?
I'm speaking from Max's perspective to say that I like saying that he got pushed off the track. Let me rephrase. There's not much argument to say that he should give the spot back, because there's nothing that he could have done. He did sort of got squeezed off. It ends up just being a racing incident because there's no way to go back and say, well, did the inside guy push you? Did you push him? Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, George was immediately on the radio.
Sure, but that's what George does.
But Max had already cleared Russell at that point.
Right. Yeah. And so that's ultimately, like, that's where it gets interesting, because the Ferrari guys might be able to try and complain and say, you know, he's ahead of me, he's this, he pushed the guy off, whatever. George getting on and saying he's got to give the position back. George, you were past 200 feet before the corner. Like, you're not part of that conversation.
Yeah.
He just wants to be.
Sure. I mean, I guess it's worth a try. I mean, he bitches all the time anyway, so why not?
Well, he learned from the best. The one that I'm struggling with the most, first of all, I thought, when was it? Maybe lap 3 when Hamilton and Verstappen were kind of wheel to wheel. It was one of those laps. And they made contact. I think Verstappen went in the grass again.
He did. He spent a lot of time in the grass on Sunday.
Yeah. But there was this whole debate between Crofty and Caroon on the broadcast about who's at fault there. Could that be a penalty? And I feel like Crofty is just being an antagonist now.
Yes.
I don't think he knows what he's really talking about. Like, he was saying, well, did Max make the corner? You know, was he alongside? And like, I get that you're trying to like spark debate and stuff like that. But dude, like, that lunge was from, I don't know, 8 car lengths behind him. And he lunges into turn 1 and says like, oh, I have the right to the corner now because I made the apex first. That is absolute bullcrap. That's not racing. Like, why are we debating this between Crofty and Caroon on the broadcast? And I think it's because Crofty's he's doing a bit. He's just doing a bit.
I mean, somebody's got to, right?
Yeah, but
I guess it would be boring if they just agreed the whole time. But I mean,
no, but you can agree and also try to explain like the rules. I mean, like you said, he dive bombs from way back, doesn't make the corner, hits the other driver, and doesn't leave him enough space and pushes him onto the grass. What are we talking about? Like, you know,
well, and Caroon immediately shut it down too, because he's like, man,
Crofty was relentless. He was relentless. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, you're right. I think Crofty just kept going on with it, and Caroon's like, yeah, I don't really think we're gonna. I think he even called him an antagonist during their talk back and forth.
You know, Caroon felt like he was looking at like an abusive parent or something. It's like, can I say this, or are you gonna yell at me?
Yeah, he was waiting for someone to give him permission to actually say what he was thinking. He's like, I don't need to get fired from this job. I really like it.
Right.
And he's really good at it.
Yeah.
He should have been like, Crofty, you look great today, but I think you're wrong. nice outfit, but I disagree.
Yeah, let me sandwich this with some compliments.
The sandwich method is always the best.
Yes. and I'm going to nitpick here because this has really nothing to do with racing, and it's just more of a personality thing. I really like Karun. I really do.
Yeah.
I have found something that irks me. And I am guilty of a lot of these things as well. I say a lot. I say like a lot. I can't speak in coherent thoughts very often.
Don't wear deodorant.
And
I don't
welcome to the
own a
podcast.
toothbrush. I have started to recognize a little tick with Karun that gets under my skin, and it is the sharp inhale through his teeth. It's the yeah, and it's now all I hear. It's all I hear on the broadcast.
Well, now it's going to be all I hear, and everybody else who listens to this. So,
Well, I hate to
You're
be
welcome.
the bearer of bad news. It's actually not an inhale through his teeth. People in Europe, and I'm sure you saw this while you were over there, still smoke a lot. And I think it's him taking a drag of a smoky treat. He's just got to do it real quick because he doesn't know when he's going to have to talk again.
I'm sorry. I'm envisioning him with like one of those big, long, like the plastic, thing with the cigarette on the end. Yeah, the tip.
And a monocle.
What do I think of this race?
just cut to a shot of Crofty and Karun in the commentary box, and this is his cloud of smoke. Just ashtrays
Just billowing out of the top.
butts just littered on the counter.
My God.
Oh man, that's good, John.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm gonna let that go. But I felt like I needed to mention it to you guys. There were a few cars that had some other difficulty in the first 10 laps.
Can we mention Carlos discovering the infinite penalty glitch where I speed in the pit lane, so therefore I get a penalty, so therefore I speed in the pit lane, therefore I get a penalty. Oh,
Yes.
poor Carlos.
He's stuck in an infinite loop.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle.
Well, and he started with a 5-place grid penalty today.
Yeah,
or this
what
weekend.
an awful weekend. Just terrible.
I think he was
Qualified
just
well.
trying to make the most of it, you know?
I understand that by the letter of the law, Hamilton got the 10-second penalty. That is in the rule book. If you leave the track and gain an advantage, you get a 10-second penalty. I think Ferrari wound up Ferrarying him in that situation. I think that could have, and they talked about it in the broadcast, and I completely agree, that if he would have just played that differently and fallen back to the pack, he could have made the argument, I didn't gain an advantage. I put the trailing car right back on my rear bumper. I'm not saying he needed to give the place to Verstappen at that point, but even if he did give the place to Verstappen, I still think that was the better solution. It would have been fall back or give the place back, avoid a penalty, because when he got the penalty, I mean, that dropped him down like 6 positions.
Yeah, you ended
Maybe
up finishing
more.
8th.
I know, and he was running 4th at that time.
He was. Yeah, because he was ahead of Ollie Behrman.
Yeah.
And would have had a fantastic weekend. I would have gotten 1 more point on my top 5. Because as I predicted, Ferrari did really well this weekend. They have Mexico figured out. They have COTA figured out.
They do.
They don't have penalties figured out or strategy just quite yet. But you can't exactly say that because Charles had a fantastic weekend. So
I'd like to know what they were thinking in that moment there, because I want to know if they thought, like, do we want to stay far enough ahead of Verstappen and then somehow we'll just take the 10-second penalty and that'll be better than giving him the position and falling back? Like, if we just extend this, like, can we get 10 seconds down the road away from him? But that just feels like the classic, that's what I'm saying. It just seems like classic Ferrari big brain baloney. Like, dude, just drop back a half a second and if your car's good enough, you're not going to have to worry about this. And if it's not, well, then you weren't going to win it anyway. So yeah, I can't explain their logic. I just can't.
in no world does giving up 10 seconds put you in a better position than giving up, let's call it 1 or 2 at the most, by giving the position back. Like, in no world does that ever work. It's dumb. But we've seen him maybe not him, but we've seen other drivers do that before. But this weekend, I don't know. I think it's still part of that Lewis Ferrari.
Yeah.
There's
I also
still
feel
something
like
going on
there
there.
was a really good point that Karun was making about how Ferrari did a terrible job of communicating that penalty to him, saying it was from the incident with Verstappen at this turn.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the incident. That he was completely fine from how he rejoined the track, but he did it gaining an advantage, and the penalty was to gain an advantage. And they're like, it was the incident with Verstappen. We don't agree, but this and this and this. Like, I agree with Karun. Like, why are you communicating it that way?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense, and I'm wondering if they had communicated it a bit better, we wouldn't have seen the penalty. Because that's what we saw them communicate when the penalty was issued. We didn't see what the communication was whenever he rejoined the track.
Exactly. There was no penalty for one of those.
Yeah.
It was the, failure to follow race director's instruction. He didn't get a penalty for that. He got the penalty for coming on track and being 2 seconds up the road when he was when he was back on track.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back, maybe talk a little bit more about this race and championship battles and rookie duty. Anything else stick out from this race for you guys? Besides, obviously, like Norris dominating and Piastri kind of fumbling all over the track for the last couple weekends.
Man, can we give? I know this isn't rookie duty time, but I just want to say it's been a while since we've seen a Sauber up there, at least for the first half of the race, like trying to do well. And then you add that with Yuki was up there battling a little bit of Piastri. Like it seemed like the first half of the race, we saw quite a bit more battles than we've seen from some of the, let's call them the bottom half drivers. Now, obviously it equaled out towards the end of the race because where everybody placed, they placed. But I don't know. I saw Bortoletto up there battling. I saw Yuki up there battling. Obviously, Ollie Behrman. It was nice to see some of those guys competing a little bit more than they had before in the past.
Maybe we'll cover it in the rookie duty, or maybe now we want to talk about the rookie duty. But I'd like to talk about Behrman. Let's do it.
Go ahead.
Haas is a big pile of garbage in their car, and yet somehow he drove the wheels off of it, right? And he made some of the best moves that I've seen. That little, I'm just going to stop here in the corner and let everybody else just bump into each other and take 3 or 4 spots or whatever was absolutely brilliant. One of the better moves I've seen all year.
Well, it's interesting that Haas brought an upgrade last week to Austin.
It's a bold move.
Well, and not only that, it's late in the season, but also it was a pretty significant upgrade from what I was hearing.
Yeah.
And now you still have Ocon in one of those cars, and he didn't know what to do with it. But
they still had a 14-point weekend.
Yeah, but Behrman finished 9th in Austin last weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
And followed that up with P4 this weekend. Like,
yeah,
there's something working on the pile of garbage is all I'm trying to say.
It feels a little like a combination of things. Like, so a little bit of an upgrade, just a great week from Ollie, and then on top of that, a lot of like infighting and him just sort of being like, "Thank you, I'll take that point. Take this spot. All right, thank you." Like he was
opportunistic.
Yeah, just doing what he needed to do,
and patient. You don't normally see that amount of patience from a younger driver. They're trying to force things because they don't see that many opportunities. They're normally battling for 16th and 15th and 14th, but he just was very, very smooth the entire race. It was nice to see.
I was really hoping that the tire advantage would give him some shot at Max, but no, that's not going to happen.
Not happening.
Do we want to give out a rookie duty? Should we do that right now?
I'm down.
Sure. Are we just going to make the nomination? I'm going to put Ollie up there.
I think that's the clear for me.
Yeah. Is there any dissent, I guess, is the question here.
Hard to argue.
All right.
No dissenting opinions.
Ollie,
Look at that.
you're on our continent. You can just drive by and pick it up.
You're on our continent.
Yeah, I
And you
guess
have
he
an off
is.
week. So you're
Right,
probably,
yeah.
spending a few days in A La Mujeres right there, just, taking in the sun. Just swing on by Texas
Yeah.
on your way out. Well, and based on Tom's road map and geography lesson from last week, I'm sure that you, Tom, can tell him the quickest route to get here if indeed there is one highway he can take.
I-35, right?
Sure. Sounds good.
It's the only one I know right here. So we'll talk about the Drivers' Championship in just a minute, but we should touch on the Constructors' Championship because there's been a lot of yo-yoing, especially like in the bottom 5 teams. Just one big weekend here and you propel yourself above another team. There's a heated battle for 6th place that involves 4 teams that are all within 12 points. I have some trivia for you.
I love trivia.
Let's go.
Currently, in the standings, there are 9 teams that have 60 championship points or more. Do you know the last time that happened?
9 teams. I mean, that is almost all of the teams. That has 60 or more. Jeez.
Let me just stop you here.
Yeah.
It's a trick question. It's never happened before.
Oh, well then.
Well, you just saved me from randomly throwing out a date and looking like a fool. So thank you. I was going to say 2019.
No, but like there have only been a couple of seasons where 7 teams have scored 60 points. It's typically 6 or fewer.
Yeah.
So 7 is an outlier.
Yep.
And it's never been 8, let alone 9. And this year we have 9 teams who have scored 60 points. The 9th place team is Sauber at 60.
Yeah, it's really hard this year to point to one team and say, well, okay, with one exception, and say that they're the back marker, right? Because a bunch of teams are, and they're fighting every week, and we keep seeing this. We keep seeing teams go up and down, and I mean, I don't know.
A 14-point weekend from Haas. You've had a podium from Sauber. Like this stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah,
yeah.
If
But
Alpine
at the
can
back?
pull,
I was about to say,
yeah,
at the back and not coming out of anywhere. The Frenchies.
Look,
and you say this, but 1 year ago in Brazil, those idiots got a double podium.
Exactly. So,
I'm
just wondering, can we somehow next week get a double podium and have all 10 teams with 60 points or more?
It's a sprint weekend too, right? So there is enough points available.
Yeah, there's points to be had.
Oh my gosh.
Just guys, take the baguettes out of the airbox and
it is kind of interesting that you've got this really like tight race for 2nd and a really tight race for 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insanity that you've got the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th separated by 10 points, and you've got 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th separated by 12 points.
Yep.
So 1st is in no man's land, 5th is in no man's land, and 10th is in no man's land. Everybody else, every other team is fighting with each other, not even just one other team. It's a 3-way battle or a 4-way battle, and it's awesome.
It's going to make for some really interesting races because this far in the season, historically, you might have 1 or 2 teams that are close enough to battle for something in the constructors. But this many teams, this close, this much battling, I think you're going to see some really interesting things happen that we haven't seen before. Like teams taking chances that historically they wouldn't take this late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, last year, what did we say for Alpine when they had that double podium? Wasn't that something like it was $100 million race or something ridiculous for them? It was some obscene amount of money.
They went from 10th to 6th or something like that, 9th to 6th.
I think it was 100 million peso race.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah,
got it.
We didn't convert it.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's got to be in everybody's mind right now that who's the next team that's going to do that? I mean, does Sauber suddenly just leapfrog ahead of something? Like how? I mean, all it takes is a podium, and like Ollie proved, anybody could do it or come really close. So right now we're at a premium.
The reason that this season has become so much fun in that regard is because you only have one team throughout the year that have consistently had both drivers scoring big points every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Every other team, it's basically only been one. And it might be a different one this weekend than it was last weekend. But you've got now 8 points paying positions up for grabs. And really, it's 3 to 4 drivers who have been, maybe 5, consistently big points every weekend. And then you've got 5 other points paying positions that are just kind of like grab bag.
Right. Yeah, the names up there have been, I think, some of the best part about this. You can't point. It's been very easy in the years past to point to drivers and teams who aren't executing.
Mhm.
I can't point to too many teammates right now that are not able to just leapfrog up there and get a huge haul of points for their team.
Mhm.
I mean, like Sauber is a really good example, right? I mean, Hulk goes out and gets a podium, but then Bortoletto comes back and gets like a 7th and an 8th or whatever it was. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Aston Martin is kind of a junk car. But if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Albon, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, and Sainz would all have more points than Fernando Alonso, I would have called you crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this has just been upside down, bizarro world. And it's been fun.
Yep.
But it's not, it's just not predictable. And that's kind of the fun part about it. Going back to this whole Mexico Grand Prix thing, I can't put my finger on it, but it absolutely was the best race we've had in at least the last 6 or 7 races.
I'm wondering if some of these drivers are starting to feel some of the pressure that we're just talking about right now, right? Some championships have been decided already, or obviously the top spot has been decided.
A championship.
And so some of them are still battling, like the top 3 guys are obviously battling for it, and they're feeling the pressure to go and get every point they possibly can. But I would assume that the other drivers are under the same kind of pressure right now to get every point for their team. I mean, obviously, the more points you score, you have a future in the sport. I mean, this isn't rocket science, but like if you can give your team millions of dollars, it becomes a lot harder to argue that, well, not only should I go to another team, why can't I just stay with this team if I earned you X number of dollars or whatever? So I've got to imagine that at this point, it's kind of like elbows out. Not to mention that these cars, like we don't have to build on this platform, we're on another platform. So I don't know if there's a little bit of like, if you kind of wreck it, like, I mean, we might make a lot more money if you stick it in the corner than we're going to lose if you break a front wing. So maybe things are kind of let off the leash a little bit, because I felt like Mexico looked like a little bit more of just driving out of control, which just leads to an exciting race.
I don't know if it was driving out of control. I mean, the grass would probably have something different say about that, but I think to your point, Brady, like there haven't been this many times this late in the season where everything is still so close. Aside from McLaren and the constructors, everything is still up for grabs, because when you're looking at the driver standings, you've got Lando at 357, Oscar at 356, Max at 321, and then you jump down and it's, George and Charles are, 48 points apart, which is a bit much, and same thing with Lewis. So those kind of 3 positions are a little bit decided, but then 7th down, you've got a handful of points that are separating everyone. You're so close to the driver in front of you, and every point matters and every position matters. And so it's a lot closer this season than I think it has been. And it's giving people, instead of just getting through the season, I think it's giving people hope to say, like, I can still gain 2 more spots. And if I finish 8th instead of 10th, like, how much better is that for me next year? And when my contract comes up, and I don't know. I don't think it was this close last year.
No, you're right. I mean, Yuki Tsunoda is the 17th driver in the championship with 28 points.
In a Red Bull.
Yes. Nico Hulkenberg is in 9th with 41. That's 13 points between 9th and 17th.
Yep. Yeah, the pressure's on here. It doesn't take much to leapfrog a ton of people. Yeah.
Well, and these drivers are not just fighting for their team, but they're fighting, like John said, for their future resume. Like this is every little bit helps the team for sure. But it's another thing for these drivers to put on their resume, whether they're going to be driving for the same team next year or a different team. This is important stuff.
Yeah. I would say that there's something about Mexico too in general. Like, okay, high elevation on cars that are ground effect cars. So the aerodynamics are at a premium. And you take 20-25% of that away and the cars start to slide around. Also, again, not rocket science. But if that was true, wouldn't we see that every year for whatever set? I mean, we've had these regulations now for, this is the 4th year, correct? If I have that right. So why wasn't it like this last year or the year before? Why is it this year they felt that they had to be more aggressive?
Because everything's closer.
Yeah. I will say that another thing is the cars are obviously closer to each other too. They aren't like these packs where it was like the top 3, the next 3, the next 3. Mm-hmm. Everybody can mix it up, and that also does make the racing closer. But again, if that was true, why aren't we seeing that in all the races leading up to this? That hasn't been the case in a lot of these races. Why was it this race?
High altitude.
High altitude. Yeah, we're all just going brain dead.
Well, I think high altitude, Mexican but you also have some spicy. Really odd.
The green sauce, not the red sauce, okay? Green sauce, not the red.
You've got some odd spots on this circuit that bring you down to almost a standstill. Like when you're going through the stadium, that one turn right there, like it's when you get that slow, it causes things to bunch up a little bit more than what I think we've seen, because we don't really have that in COTA like last week. Like COTA isn't like super fast, but it's like it's a much more smoothly moving circuit than Mexico is.
Sure.
So you get guys bunched up, the cars are a little bit closer in performance, and so you see a lot more overtaking and sliding taking place.
I mean, we've been talking about it all season, about how these cars are just hard to follow each other. Most tracks make it very difficult for these types of cars and these size of cars to pass. They talked about it again in the broadcast leading up to before the race today, a track that's difficult to overtake. I want to say, I am typically not for big like strategy overtakes or anything. Like, I'd love to see it on track more than that. I actually found it very fun to see Oscar pass Kimi in the pit lane. I actually thought that was the best overtake of the race because they knocked out their pit stop in a second faster than Mercedes, and they came in at exactly the same time, and he left in front of him. I thought that was super fun.
That was pretty cool.
You bring up a really interesting, like a point here that I wanted to mention later on, was that it felt like they had to go to Bernie way more times in this race than they had to in a lot of it. Was like, what is the strategy here? And then as soon as she got off the radio, so Bernie, what's the strategy on this one? It was just back to Bernie over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. Also calling in on a potato. Couldn't they get her a better mic?
Well, she was on the pit wall. And it was funny because she was talking about, like GP, you just probably pressed the wrong button. Like if you're smart, you put like grip tape in front of it, or make a little beep sound.
It's a little tape that says no.
Yes, right. I can still hear you. I can hear you.
Oh my god!
I thought that was entertaining. Yeah. Anyways, I think we're in for a treat for these last 4 races. I'm really excited. I was not excited for the last 2 months of watching Formula One, but now all of a sudden this race has really reinvigorated my interest level, and also it's added some fuel to the fire of the championship for the rest of the ride. It's going to be fun.
One race is all it took. You went from poo-poo Tom last week and I'm over F1 to now you're excited again, and I like it.
Well, Brady wasn't here to balance me out.
I know. I apologize. Well, so speaking of, I know we haven't been doing too many of our preview episodes, but I think we should do one next week, because the Sao Paulo race is just so much fun. What a great track. We really should probably talk about that a little bit. Plus talk about the battle coming up. I think there's a lot more we can talk about there.
Yeah. I'm interested. You have my interest is piqued.
I did it.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll do it for us. John, do you have anything more important to say?
Nope. I've said all I'm going to say.
Brady, don't call him the best color man for a reason. Just drinking out of the Jack Daniels.
Whoever finishes first gets the most points.
That was profound. All right. Well, maybe we'll have a preview episode next week. Love you all. Thank you for listening, and have a good night.